Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfszeit channel. Today with a very special topic, always special. The Caravans. Very important Caravans, not Karens. Anyway, while we are waiting for more information about the territory control overhaul, because a lot of people in the community raised the question, is the Reckoning patch one big patch or is it sliced patches? But we have to wait for more info on this. But because territory control overhaul is around the corner and some have raised the question about the PvP engagement and how this could be enhanced with such a system because Path of Exile is using that. I also made a video about the Caravans, but not specifically about the PvP Caravans like they have in Path of Exile as an example. Because having more engagement on the map is good for everyone, and the thing is, if you're having a Caravan system that works with a reward system that is like how far you transport stuff, the more stuff you get, so the more engagement will happen in the map, I guess. And I guess the same thought was behind the supply idea of the territory control towns and stuff. But not everyone has a territory control town, of course. Also, a lot of solo players don't have that, and small groups maybe have that. It also depends. And then such a system will come in handy. I mean, we can see it in the Path of Exile. I mean, you don't even have to think so big like, oh, we need wagons and stuff. It's not particularly about wagons. It's just the idea of engagement that happens because someone decides to travel far more to get more reward, and this leads to more movement around the map. And I think this is why so many people called for the territory control overhaul since a long time. I guess exactly for that reason, because the PvP grounds are sometimes not there and people are sometimes very hungry for PvP and stuff. Maybe with the Tinner Arena there could be something made, I don't know. Okay, to explain the Path of Exile Caravan system in very short, I mean as an inspiration, so maybe it could also fit Mortal, maybe, I don't know. And I want to hear your opinion about that. So there is also a voting, of course. Because such a system is always closely tied in many games to player structures, player cities, and player villages. So this would maybe also fit in the territory control overhaul. Or maybe it will not fit, but we will see anyway in about 2 weeks. If you don't want to miss any infos, please subscribe. Would be really awesome, by the way. So the Path of Exile way with the Mortal way. So first the Path of Exile way. Player interacts with an NPC merchant to plan and escort a caravan. So the routes involve technical decisions, risk versus reward, enemies, and loot, of course. It's also instanced and PvE focused. So, for example, you're having resources and you transport them elsewhere and they are worth a little bit more elsewhere. Then you are also transporting resources and you're getting more reward the further it's away. Kinda like with the Parcel runs and the supply runs we have in Mortal Online 2. The thing is, the rewards are not so high enough that people making this instead of the dungeons. It also depends on the player population, of course, currently. But most of the Mortal Online player population only doing stuff that they will profit from or the group they are playing will profit from. And this makes it very, very difficult from a game design perspective to find the perfect ground for that. Or the perfect balance, to say, more or less. So with the territory control overhaul, there will also be more fights around the map and more across the map travel, more or less. But then also solo players having something from that, and also everyone is having something from that. Something like a caravan system that also rewards single players or smaller groups is also a very good idea because tying both of that into this could maybe solve a lot of problems. I don't know, I'm not an expert in game design. But such a system with PvP in Mortal Online 2 encourages regional trades. It's providing a more living world where people are transporting stuff and riding around a lot more than they do now, because right now many people are just running dungeons the whole day, getting players more engaged with logistics, also with more PvP, also with more trash talking for some because of the new global chat. I must say the Mortal community is a very, very unique community. So maybe such a system can fit this hardcore game. I don't know, I'm not sure about this. Or just for example, caravans and wagons to transport your supply goods to your TC town and stuff, and you have to protect your wagon or stuff like that, or your pack animals to getting supplies to your town and stuff like that. I mean, that you can mess up the enemy supply lines, or they can mess up your supply lines, and not the supply lines. I'm talking not about the keep siege supply lines, I'm talking about the getting supplies to your town, just as a brief example. But I already know in my head that someone is now already typing Zerg content. This is exactly the point I said earlier. Please rewatch. But in the end, maybe it could bring more PvP engagement, maybe not. You can decide. Please participate in the voting, would be nice. Maybe you have a better idea how this adapts to Mortal Online 2? Then please comment below. And if you found this interesting or you maybe want to hear other topics, then please contact me. So special thanks to all these supporters, of course. Carmel, Lucario, Mr. Minerva, Damn Tired, Ronus, Paternax, Clone Bulldog, and all the others, of course. And never forget to make your caravans hard. I mean party hard. Make PvP engagement hard? Engage hard? I mean, see you all next time. Goodbye.